Hey, welcome back everybody. I was doing a walk through the orchard here, and even leading up to the orchard we have, and I'm sure if you've seen our videos before, you know that these are all of our raspberry beds, and of course a strawberry bed. And it is this strawberry bed, they're ever-bearing strawberries, and literally what that means is they ripen probably for us here in Ohio, and we're like a little north of Columbus, so our strawberries ripen right around the 1st of June, and they will continue to ripen all the way through to our first frost. And they've been quite the rock stars for us, and we've gotten a lot of strawberries. And you know, you look forward to those at the beginning of the season, and you can kind of see they've kind of overtaken the beds, but as you end this part of the season, you're kind of like, okay, I'm done with strawberries. But that's the beauty of having an orchard, because you have all different kinds of things that you can eat. And I've done a video on these before. These are double golds. In fact, this bed is a new bed for the double golds because we liked them so much. And you can see there's still some double golds out there. If you've never seen them, these are so good. This one's got a little sun scald on it. Usually they just slide right off. I think I was holding on to that leaf. But they have a little sun scald on them. To me, it doesn't change the flavor, it just doesn't look as appealing, but eats the same. And this one here is just a perfect example of what they look like. But I'll save that for the wife. They taste like, let me zoom in. The best way I can describe it is they taste almost like a lemonade, like a pink lemonade maybe. Look at this. My cherry. What's the deal here? Lost all of its leaves, but that's all right. And if you can see these, let me get a good step up here. These right here, and guys, you're going to deal with a little bit of wind here. I just couldn't find a good time to do a video where there wasn't wind. But these nodes right here are fruiting nodes, or fruiting buds that'll eventually break out in the spring, and there's quite a few on that tree. So haven't had any fruit off of it yet, but looking forward to, it's hard to say, but already looking forward to next spring. I wanted to show you a few things in here. Grapevines are all done. Gonna change that up a little bit next year. I got this from an online store, Stark Brothers. Wasn't gonna say the name, but kind of hard to hide it now. Reliant Seedless. This is definitely not a Reliant Seedless. You know what though? We've been eating these grapes because if you know anything about a Reliance grape, it is a red color. And you can see some of the bees. And guys, we don't spray our stuff. We don't put anything on it. And sometimes this is a result of that. I'm not saying that the spraying will keep bees off necessarily, but the way we see it is, hey, if there's enough for us to eat and you can pass on a little bit to something else, and I'm okay with that too. These grapes are, so we used to live in North Carolina, and these grapes taste like, it was called a scuppernong, I believe that's how you say it. These have seeds in them. This is the color that they get. They're not the red color, so that's how we know that they're not a seedless Reliance. But we've been pretty happy with that. So it's not what we thought it was, not what we paid for, but at the same time it's grapes, and we like grapes. So man, I got so many things I want to show you guys. And the reason I'm doing this, half of it's because I want something to document. We're at the end of September here, and so for all you fig growers out there, especially for those of you in cooler climates, and especially if you're doing in ground, this is towards the end of the season. These don't look like it because they're still green and healthy, but it's quickly approaching time where we're going to start seeing some colder temperatures. These guys are deciduous trees, which means they're going to lose their leaves and they'll go dormant, and without any kind of protection they'll die back completely to the ground. In fact, everything that you're seeing here, all these trees, these are fig trees, I don't know if I mentioned that, all of these trees died back to the ground. And here's a good example of one that it did not come back for us. So all the way to the ground, And then again, everything you're seeing here has come back. But not only that, even better, they've been fruiting. So this is an Adriatic type. It's known to be a later variety. It's a JH Adriatic. And you can see this thing was completely dead to the ground. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, yeah, but are you going to be able to get those ripened in time? That I don't have the answer to. But it usually takes about 90-ish days by the time you see a small little node, which is a fruiting node growing, to the time that you got an edible piece of fruit. And so if I've done my math right, these should be ready, I'm guessing, in about a week or two. So I should start seeing some swelling happening here, not before too long, hopefully. And then like this cool variety right here, it's called a Bryant Dark. See that? We've been eating some fruit off of this tree already. And not only that one, but there's one here called an Italian White, or White Italian. Same difference to me. Let's see if I can get you in here. But look at that. That's ripening, it's swelling, it's changing color. These down here doing the same thing. And we've eaten 2 off of this tree, which is the first time we've eaten anything like that off of this tree. And if you're new to figs, or if you're considering possibly growing figs, maybe you live in a colder climate and you're not sure how this all works, a safe bet, if you're looking for any kind of a fig tree, is what we call a Hardy Chicago or a Chicago Hardy, or a Mount Etna type. There's a bunch of varieties of the Mount Etnas, but this, guys, like I said, this was dead. There was nothing here, and it's had time to grow back. But not only that, it's produced fruit. We've been eating fruit off this tree. There's probably 8 pieces of fruit that are almost ready, easily within a few days. And so that would be one I would recommend if you're new to figs and want to try it out. That's a good way to kind of cut your teeth on figs. And then let me show you this one. This was one of the first ones we ever had, and it's called a brown turkey. I don't know if it's an Eastern brown turkey, not exactly sure. It was just labeled brown turkey. But these fruits, let me eat that grape. I mean, they get pretty decent size, right? Sorry, it has seeds and I'm trying not to choke on them while I'm talking. Anyway, okay, probably not the best idea to eat a grape while I'm talking. Anyway, I don't know exactly how these taste. From what I've known from different forums and different people that have tried them, they're okay. Now, if you've never had a fig, you probably will enjoy it quite a bit. But those of you that have, had some really super nice varieties, hard to find varieties, this may be subpar to those. But for me, especially being here in Ohio, I'll take whatever fig wants to give me a fig. I'll be happy with that. I wanted to show you, we've got some other ones. That's a Malta Black, and it's got a fruit that's starting to grow here as well. We planted this thing from seed just out of curiosity. It's almost like if you ever watch those Back to Eden Gardens, where you just continue to lay compost down. I honestly did not give this thing the time of day. I thought, okay, I had extra seeds, so I put it in here. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is. Some type of maybe a gourd or a pumpkin. Obviously that one's not doing well. It's probably dying out. So chances are I'm not gonna have anything grow fruit-wise on this, and that's okay. Again, a lot of things that I'm doing here is just experimenting in this. I don't claim to be a guru on these things. I don't happen to know everything there is to know. But what I am learning is that by doing these experiments, seeing what will grow, especially in my area, has just been fun. And like I've said on previous videos, I enjoy growing fruit. I enjoy growing trees. And so this is right down my alley. And one day, the whole family and friends and just people in general, there's so much fruit that will one day be in here. There's no way we could eat all this. And so the goal is to be able to share this with folks, to have a huge harvest and have people come in and just enjoy the hard work that we've put in. This is one that I wanted to show you. I was really pleasantly surprised with this. This is called a Paradiso Bronze. And usually I'm out here with Holly and she's giving me a second hand. But let me see if I can get this one out of the bag myself. And I did bring the cutting board. Sorry, I forget what I'm doing half the time. I don't know if I still have the knife with me. That's funny. Wow, way to be prepared here. I had it, but I'm sure I dropped it in the process. But this is called, see, I told you I'm not professional. Paradiso Bronze. And see that little bit of, that's a latex. And some people, it's the part of the stuff that comes out of the top of this. It's called a latex. And sometimes for people that have an allergy or maybe don't deal well with that latex, it can actually burn you. I have never had an issue with it. Hey, there she is. Hey, can you see if I dropped a knife up there somewhere? It's that yellow one.
Yeah.
Thank you. But anyway, we've had some cold temperatures. It's dropped down here. Like I say, we're at the end of September. It looks like it's bad. For those of you that have never seen a fig, it looks like it's rotten. I don't think so though. And so what I'm gonna do is see if she can find that knife. And I'll tell you what, while she's looking, part of my plan for this as well was to just walk you through and show you and really kind of keep record for myself all these little cuttings that I literally put in the ground in spring. And so to give you an idea, this thing is up to my waist. This is a long D'Alp. And I just showed you that's about a 3-foot tree from a little stick that was probably 6 inches. And that would be true for all of these smaller ones. And some of you might be asking, well, I thought you had to cover these or protect these through the winter. And you are right. And we're gonna try to do a video on how we're gonna do that. It's gonna be a job, but that's okay. We're up for the challenge, and there again, I don't claim that this is gonna work. It's just our approach to it, and we'll do a video as it gets a little closer to that time. But this tree has done extremely well on producing fruit. This is a Valle Negra, and I kid you not, we ate these. None of these are ripe yet, or I would do a little taste video with you. These literally taste like a chocolate covered cherry. Not exactly, but that's the best way that I can describe that tree, or the fruit from that tree. There's some others in here that just aren't quite ready. Sweet Joy, LSU Purple, which I'm not super thrilled with, but if you, again, you know anything about figs, and I would say mostly with any fruit tree, especially by year 3 on figs, you'll get a better idea of how the fruit is going to taste. And so maybe I'm just in between those times. I'm not sure. Let me take you down to this one here. This one is called a Beers Black. And look at that. We got a spider protecting this from any bugs. We've trained them. Not really. All right, let's pull this dude off. And, well, Holly must not have found the knife. But this is a Beers Black. It's also referred to as a Violet de Bordeaux type. And you can see even right here, see that open eye? You don't typically want that. And you might wonder, well, why not? Well, bugs, for one, can get inside of that, and it just kind of sometimes may ruin your fruit, especially if you deal with the SWD fly. I think it's a spotted wing Drosophila. Maybe I said that right, I'm not sure. But they will get in and they'll ruin your fruit, and they'll hatch eggs, and then larvae will get in there. So far, we haven't had to deal with any SWD issues here, so hopefully it stays that way. But I know our folks in Pennsylvania and other places are dealing with that, and they're losing fruit because of that. So I'm guessing our time is coming. But for for now. I'm gonna enjoy the beauty of not having to deal with that. But you can tell this, well, maybe. You can tell that is shriveled up. Hey, there you are, you're the champ. Holding that. All right, Holly's gonna take you in. So, I'll just show you, and there again, you saw this one leaking a little bit of that sap from the fruit, so. I don't expect this one to be fully ripe, but I wanted to get give you a chance to see what a Paradiso Bronze looks like. You can see with this white ring around this, greenish white ring, that does mean that it's underripe. It'll still taste good, but you won't get the exact flavor of how this fruit can taste. And then with the Beers Black, it's got more of a leathery type skin exterior, and I think the cooler weather that we've been having is changing the way that these ripen as well. And so again, Violet Day Bordeaux type, and then Paradiso Bronze. And so I'm not going to necessarily do a taste test video. You guys are probably, you know what, yeah, well, okay, let me just taste it. I just popped the whole thing in my mouth. It's definitely underripe, and it has a little bit of a melon taste to it. And for those of you that have had underripe figs, you know that taste. But this berry, when you let this get fully ripe, that berry is so good. And the unique thing about this skin that we've not experienced with any of our other figs is this tastes more like a raisin. I mean, it's literally like you finish this berry dessert inside, and then you finish it off with like chewing just a small raisin. That's the best way I can describe that. And so that's a good fig. Pleasantly surprised. Yeah, and Frosty is a huge fan of figs. Doesn't matter if they're ripe or not. He's a big fan, so. And sorry I spit my food out. But what I was gonna tell you is sometimes people, they just put their food in like this, but we decided throw it face down on the tongue so you get the full flavor. So this one's still just a little bit underripe. We haven't had quite the sun because part of it's, we live in Ohio. But this is a really good berry flavored fig. It tastes different than the Paradiso Bronze, but a real pleasant taste to this. And I would say it was even better about 2 weeks ago when we were getting a lot of sun and a whole lot less rain, because rain will affect the taste of your figs too. So anyway, all right, folks. Appreciate that. Everyone say thanks, Holly. All right. Hey, that's what I wanted to show you guys. Again, just doing a walkthrough, and some of this is for me, this is for you guys as well. Just getting ready to shut down production on some of the fruit in the orchard. And it's kind of a sad moment, but it's just what needs to be done. That's what they do. Anyway, sorry to make this so long, but at the same time, we just wanted to, yeah, just bring you along and show you kind of where we're at with things. So we'll probably tune in one more time with the orchard, and there again, we'll show you another video as time goes on, probably closer to Thanksgiving, on how we cover all of these, literally 110 feet from there to here. All right, Frosty, say goodbye.